On behalf of the IHSA Board of Directors, their administrative staff, the IHSA Track and Field Advisory Committee, and the administration and staff of Eastern Illinois University, welcome to O'Brien Stadium for the second day of the 42nd Girls State Final Track and Field Meet. Our competition is conducted under rules and regulations adopted by the IHSA member schools. Sport a winning attitude and practice good sportsmanship today. Remember, attitude is for everyone. Enjoy the spring spectacular. Ladies and gentlemen, at this time, I ask that you all please rise. Turn and face the colors of the United States and join our soloist, Charleston High School senior Peyton Foster, for the singing of our national anthem.
Oh, say, can you see by the dawn's early light what so proudly we hailed at the twilight's last gleaming, with broad stripes and bright stars through the perilous fight, for the ramparts we watched were so gallantly streaming, and rockets right where the bombs bursting in gave proof through the night that our flag was still there. Oh, say does thy star-spangled banner yet wave o'er the land of the free and the home of the brave?
Peyton Foster, ladies and gentlemen, of Charleston High School. You'll meet her in just a moment. If I may direct your attention to the 20-yard line, where it is my privilege to introduce to you the administrator in charge of cross country and track and field in Illinois, the Assistant Executive Director of the Illinois High School Association, Mr. Ron McGraw.
Good morning. Thank you, Mr. Pazinski. It's my pleasure to invite all of you this morning to cheer aggressively and loudly for all the young women today who will compete in this 2A championship. We appreciate your support and your positive enthusiasm that will drive them to their best and fastest times and highest jumps and PRs all across the board. We thank you for that ahead of time. At this time, I'll continue our tradition that we have here at the IHSA Track and Field by introducing to you our referee for the weekend, Mr. Bob Rice from Danville. He'll be here to work this very important event and ensure that everyone gets a fair opportunity to compete. But at the moment, he'll be here to read to you our sportsmanship statement. Mr. Bob Rice.
Thank you. Good morning. The Illinois High School Association requires officials to enforce sportsmanship rules. Athletes, coaches, officials, and spectators all have a part to play in this process. High school athletics emphasize the positive values we all have worked hard to create: a sense of teamwork, respect, responsibility, and perspective. All attributes of good sportsmanship shared by competitors who demonstrate this good behavior. We encourage and appreciate your assistance in promoting sportsmanship, and we hope this competition will reflect the mutual respect of all parties. Good luck and have a great meet.
Thank you. At some point here shortly, probably before another minute passes, I'd like to introduce you to the young lady who sang our national anthem this morning. But we'll plan to be racing at 9 o'clock. We're checking and double checking our starting system now. Our backup system is giving us just a little bit of a question mark, so we're going to make sure that's working perfectly before we begin our competition today. It is still our hope that we will be racing at 9 o'clock. This, ladies and gentlemen, it's difficult to speak from this microphone, much less sing. It would be impossible. It's almost impossible for me to speak, much less try to sing the national anthem. So our anthem singers go upstairs where it's a little less feedback and a little less delay. But ladies and gentlemen, please thank Peyton Foster from Charlton High School for her rendition of the national anthem this morning. Thank you. With that, I'll step away and work on this situation with our folks and see if we haven't got that corrected so we can get kicked off right at 9 o'clock. Thank you for being here. We appreciate your attendance and support of these fine young women.
Second to the track. This is section number 1 of the preliminaries in Class 2A, the 4x800 meters. In this first race, here's the field of competition in lane number 2, the Vikings of Ileana Christian. In 3, the Rochester Rockets. In 4, the Cyclones of Sacred Heart, Griffin, Springfield. In 5, the Pioneers Normal University. In 6, Monmouth Roseville. In 8, the Maroons of the University of Chicago High School. In 9, Rock Falls. From far northern Illinois, in number 10, Harvard. In 11, Maple Park, Caneland. In 12, the Irish of Peoria, Notre Dame. And in 13, Rockford Boylan Catholic High School. They are the third best in the state and are in the lead position for this race. We can go to the starter. Clean start to begin this first race in Class 2A. As the field heads for the break line. And coming down, that looks like Boylan in the first position with Normal Community right behind, and Peoria Notre Dame in the top 3. As they come through the north curve. For Boylan, it's Apino, Delaney Apino with the lead. And 2106 in second, which is Rochester. We'll check that again as they come on to the back stretch. Boylan in the lead. As they come back onto the north curve. Again, that's a Pino. And we got Rock Falls, Dallas Clevenger. Dallas Clevenger now coming into the lead for the first exchange, Normal University. Third. That's Amber Nani coming in for the Pioneers. So your lead right now has moved back over to Rock Falls. Rock Falls followed by Boylan and then Normal University. Then that looks like Peoria Notre Dame. As we go onto the back stretch, Rock Falls and Boylan. Boylan trying to come back even with Rock Falls. Normal University next. And they go into the north curve, and all three tighten up. There is Normal University looking for a spot. Leader was Bailey Smith at the moment for Rock Falls, now trying to come even with her, Erica Lowry. That's Lowry. Lowry looking to go around Rock Falls, and they have it at the 3:39 mark. Boylan back into the lead now. Normal University in second. Rock Falls third. I believe that's Notre Dame fourth. .300 meters to go to the next exchange. And Normal University challenging Boylan here. Lowry is your leader for Boylan. Nanny was the leadoff runner for Normal University. Now with the baton for the Pioneers is Madigan Landis. So Lowry and Landis come in. Canelan is the 3 spot right now. Canelan's Aslan Ludwig is in third for Caneland. Sacred Heart Griffin is fourth. And the leaders are through the next exchange. We're at the halfway mark. We're at the mile. And it is still Boylan in the lead, followed by Normal University. 5:18, 5:19 on the clock. 1,600 meters already in the books for this first race. Here's Boylan coming back around. 21:25 for Boylan is Kelsey Pearson. 2003 for the Pioneers. That's Lafayette for Normal U High. And first call, shot put, class 3 and 4. First call, shot put, flight 3 and 4. And now Normal University moves ahead of Rockford Boylan. First call, third flight, triple jump, South Pit. Lafayette running for Normal University, getting ready to come into the anchor leg. 2003 Lafayette. 21:25 is Pearson for Boylan. Canelan in third. New fourth right now. 1954 is Monmouth Roseville. That's Daisha Taylor. Daisha Taylor coming into third for Roseville. Canelan is fourth. Canelan is 5th. As we are now on the anchors at the 7:25 mark. There is Normal University in the lead. Boylan is 2nd. Monmouth Roseville 3rd. Sacred Heart Griffin 4th. 5th and 6th, Canelan and Rochester. Here's your leaders coming around. Is this Billingsley? We'll check in on this. 1999 for Normal University is Billingsley. It is Billingsley running the anchor. 2119 for Boylan is Christina Kledar. Billingsley in the lead with 400 to go. Kledar 2nd for Rockford Boylan. Monmouth Roseville is 3rd. 4th place is Rock Falls. 5th place is Sacred Heart Griffin. Leaders on the backstretch, that's Billingsley. The senior has had a great career, especially here at O'Brien Stadium. Billingsley coming around. We are at 9:04, 9:05. When we look at University High, they had a 9:48.64 in the sectional, and they are going to blow that away here. Coming home for the Pioneers. First win of the day and an automatic berth to Saturday will go to Normal University at 9:35. Then we have Rockford Boylan coming home. Monmouth Roseville behind them. The 9 runner is Rock Falls, and now trying to come on here is the 4. That's Sacred Heart Griffin. It's going to come in next over Rock Falls, and another battle here between 11 and 10 between Canelan and Harvard, and it looks like Harvard came in next. Let's go to the scoreboard. Normal University to win 9:33.96 on Billingsley's leg. Rockford Boylan is 2nd with a 9:40.50. Monmouth Roseville is 3rd, 9:49.28. Sacred Heart Griffin is 4th with a 9:55.43. Then Rock Falls, then Harvard, Maple Park Canelan, the Rochester Rockets, and Peoria Notre Dame. Here's Ileana Christian home. Rest of the field has to qualify on time if you don't win a race. And now here's section 2 onto the track. Here's the field. In lane number 1, Palos Heights, Chicago Christian. In 2, New Lenox, Lincoln Way West, the Warriors. In 2, the Whippers of Hampshire, and they hold the Class 2A record as a team. Hampshire in 3, Aurora Rosary in 4. Metamora, the Redbirds, will be in 5. Highland from eastern Madison County, the Bulldogs in 6. Chicago Jones in 8. In 9, the Sages of Monticello. In 10, the Cougars of Vernon Hills, Lake County. In 11, the Mattoon Green Wave. In 12, the Broncos of Lombard Montini. And in 13, Washington. Final call, Flight 3, triple jump, South Pit. Final call, Flight 3, triple jump, South Pit. Washington with a 9:38.21 in the lead position of this race. 13, Mattoon next to Washington, and Monticello next to Mattoon. There you see in the lead alley 3 of the teams we expect to contend in this race. We can go to the starter. Another clean start. Call on the 4x1s to the tent. First call, 4x100 meters to the tent. As they head to the break, it was a runner on the rail, and there's Mattoon coming down. It almost looks like Schaefer for Mattoon challenging the lead with Montini. That looks like your top two as they go into the north curve. Montini and Mattoon. 1874 for Montini is Makowski. And 1930 for Mattoon, that is Megan Schaefer leading off for the Green Wave. The Green Wave were 6th last year in this event. They were 2nd in their sectional. Schaefer won the mile. You'll see her again later in the 1600. There's Schaefer trying to inch out on Makowski. So right now, Mattoon in the lead. Lombard Montini 2nd. That's Washington 3rd as they've completed 400 meters. There is Monticello in the 4 spot. They qualified out of Mattoon last week. There is Vernon Hills coming up behind Monticello. Schaefer and Mattoon still in the lead. Nice lead run here, lead off for the Green Wave. As she passes off to the Drake sisters, let's see how that can be sustained as Schaefer comes around the north curve and heads for the first exchange. Washington in 2nd, Monticello in 3rd, Vernon Hills in 4, Montini on the inside. 2242, that's Tranchatella for Washington. Again, we have to watch Washington. They're 2nd best in the state. The handoff for Mattoon in the lead. Mattoon, Washington 2nd. Montini 3rd, Monticello 4th, Vernon Hills 5th. And I believe the Whippers are next in line, Hampshire next in line. That looks like one of the Drake sisters in the lead for Mattoon. We'll check the number as they come around. Montini now into 2nd, Washington 3rd. Vernon Hills has gone past Monticello for 4th. And right now Montini challenging for the lead. All right, Montini edging out. 1872 for Montini is Jem Rozek. And for Mattoon, 1927, this is Ellie Drake, the sophomore. So Jem Rozek has taken the lead for the Broncos. 22-23 in for Washington. Looks like Haley Witter is the runner for Washington. Jem Rozek has overtaken Drake. Mattoon in 2nd. And now we have a new 3rd place. Let's see where we're at here. That's Vernon Hills not going away. The Cougars just overtook Washington as they're all in the back stretch. Leaders in the back stretch, Montini, Mattoon, Vernon Hills, Washington. Then you have Monticello. Have to double check some of our competitors here. That's Jem Rozek coming around for Montini, Drake for Mattoon. 22-39, Drexheimer for Washington. That's Rosary in 4th. 15-18 for Rosary. is Shea Verlo. Rosary is in fourth. Here's Washington trying to sneak into second place. The exchange will be tight between Washington and Mattoon. And Washington takes the advantage on Mattoon. They're in third now. Fourth place is Monticello. Actually, that has changed as well. Rosary is in fourth. Let's see how they're on in the back stretch. Montini, Washington, Mattoon, then Rosary. As they come around for Montini, 1876 is Salzbrunn. 22:44 for Washington is Wills. And for Mattoon with the baton is Taylor Smith. Taylor Smith trying to stay with Washington. And that group starting to tighten up. There's Rosary next. And Taylor Smith has moved back into second place. Smith in second for Mattoon. Gianna Salzbrunn is the runner for Montini right now. It's tightening up, and there is Taylor Smith, and she's taken the lead out of the south curve. Mattoon back in the lead. Mattoon, Smith starting to accelerate. Mattoon won this event at the indoor state championship at Illinois Wesleyan. And Smith was a big factor coming from behind in the final legs to do it. Smith of Mattoon in the lead. 1876 for Montini is Salzbrunn. 22:44 Washington is Haley Willis. Now let's look here for Rosary and I believe Harvard. 22:44 coming in. Here's Rosary. And we're going to the anchors, and Mattoon has the lead at 7:12. This should be another Drake sister running the anchor for Mattoon. You saw Ellie Drake earlier. This should be the senior, Victoria Drake, who has been in this race before and knows how it should go. Victoria Drake in the lead. Montini is second. Washington in third. Victoria Drake around the scoreboard for Montini. 1870 the runner. It's Brittany Fisher. Fisher and Drake. 22:41 for Washington is Ashley Knott. And now Montini back in the lead. Brittany Fisher overtaking Victoria Drake with 400 to go at the 8:17 mark. Washington, then Rosary. Fisher heading for the back stretch with Drake right behind. How will this go on the back stretch? Fisher, very nice pace right now. Drake is second. Washington third. Rosary fourth. Sixth place is Highland. Following Highland is Hampshire in the white. Then in the 5 spot is Metamora. And coming home here is Montini with the apparent win. Brittany Fisher. Drake and Mattoon will be second. Rosary battling Washington for third. The win at 9:30 for Lombard Montini. Here's Drake. Mattoon is second, Washington third, Rosary fourth. Fifth place looks like Highland and Zobrist. 9:46, 9:47, followed by Hampshire. And the scoreboard brings us 9:30.03 for Lombard Montini, 9:37.76 Mattoon, 9:39.29 Washington, 9:39.85 for Rosary of Aurora, 9:48.29 Highland, then Hampshire, Metamora, Vernon Hills, there's Monticello in ninth. Second call in the 4x100 meters to the tent. Second call, 4x100 meters. Mattoon improved their sectional time by 12 seconds. We'll see how that holds up as they'll have to qualify by the clock. All right, ladies and gentlemen, onto the track is section 3 of the 4x800 meters. Here's your field in lane number 1. Chicago, the Latin School. The Romans will be in lane number 1. The Rams of Mount Vernon in 2. Freeburg, the Midgets, will be in 3. Galesburg, the Silver Streaks in 4. Sterling will be in 5. Mahomet Seymour, the sectional champion of Mattoon, will be in 6. Geneseo, the Maple Leafs from Henry County, out in 8. The Friars of Oak Park Fenwick in 9. Chatham Glenwood in 10. Stanford Olympia will be in 11. In 12, the Senators of Springfield High. And in 13, Woodstock. All right, the favorite here is Woodstock. They're out there from position 13. They're sliding into the 3 spot there in the outer alley. And from the inside, the Latin School. Now, the Latin School, I believe, was 3rd place last year, Class 2A, Class 1A cross country. So the Latin School's got some accomplished runners as this 3rd race starts. Right now, though, we've got orange over black in the lead. That could be Mount Vernon from the 2 position. The Rams are in there from distance scenarios. I'll check it out here. 1885 is second. That is Mahomet Seymour wearing orange and black. And Fenwick is in second. And Woodstock in that front group as well right now. Let's double check our numbers as they've gone past 400 meters. Stanford Olympia's Shelby Stillman. Olympia in the top group. Still very tight pack as they come out of the south curve. Again, you're dealing with Mahomet Seymour, Fenwick, and a new leader here on the back stretch. Might be Olympia. into the lead. We're going to check numbers as they come around the north scoreboard. .2264 in this mix is Woodstock. Woodstock is in the lead. That's Maura Beatty in the leadoff. In third is Fenwick Arroyo in third. So we have a statement in the first 800 meters by Woodstock. And Woodstock has opened it up. Woodstock in first, looks like Lacey Haver for Woodstock. Running this leg, battle for second place. That is Springfield High in second now. Into the north curve we go, and it looks like Woodstock, after that nice opening leg by Beatty. 22.67 is Lacey Haver, a senior. Springfield is second. 21.30 for the Senators is Ellie Hamill. 21.80 is Shannon Moore, Stanford Olympia. So Olympia wearing the dark over pink, and that should be Muhammad Seymour in the 4 spot. It's still and Woodstock. Record in this 9:22:05. We mentioned that earlier. The Hampshire Whippers back in 2010. Field referee to shot put, please. Field referee to shot put. Springfield in second. Stanford Olympia third. That should be Muhammad in 4. Fenwick has dropped to 5th place as Woodstock coming around the north curve. Again, 22.67. Lacey Haver in the lead. 21.30 for Springfield is Hamill. 21.80 for Olympia is Moore. Now Chatham Glenwood, and 18.93 for Muhammad is Whitehouse. We saw Whitehouse win the 3200 last week in Mattoon, so that is Muhammad Seymour in the 4. It is still Woodstock, followed by Springfield High School. Stanford Olympia, Muhammad Seymour, Chatham Glenwood. There's your top group on to the back stretch. Woodstock and Springfield. We are past the mile mark in this race, this third race. Final call of the 4x100s to the 10th final call, 4x100s. Woodstock coming across, 22.68. For Woodstock is the freshman Kate Jacobs. For Springfield, 21.33 is Mads Nelson. 21.78 is Bailey Bauer for Olympia, but here comes Muhammad challenging Stanford Olympia for the next place. There is Chatham Glenwood in the white over red at the 6-minute mark. Woodstock still in the lead with Kate Jacobs, a freshman, on to the back stretch. Mads Nelson running for Springfield. Third place is Muhammad. They've overtaken Stanford. And then Chatham Glenwood. we head for the anchors in this final race of the 4x800. Here's Jacobs coming around, and Springfield right behind. And Galesburg in the top group here. There's Galesburg coming on as we are now into the anchors, and Woodstock at 17:15 takes off. Springfield right behind. And the gap closing between Woodstock and Springfield. There is Muhammad Seymour. That might be Twinkle Mehta running the anchor for Muhammad. Now Woodstock and Springfield stride for stride within breathing distance of each other. In third place is Muhammad Seymour. Then 11 is Stanford, 4 is Galesburg. And they tighten up behind the scoreboard. 22:63 is Grace Beatty. And for Springfield is 21:29 Allie Goff. So Goff trying to pass Grace Beatty on the outside as they head for the bell. And that is Twinkle Mehta running for Muhammad Seymour. Stanford next. Stanford followed by Galesburg. Springfield with the lead, Allie Goff with Grace Beatty right behind. Mora led the race off. Grace will finish it off for Woodstock. Springfield, Allie Goff. We're at 8:58, 8:59. Here's the 9-minute mark with 200 to go. Goff in the lead for the Springfield Senators. Grace Beatty next for Woodstock. Third place is Twinkle Mehta of Muhammad Seymour. Fourth place is Stanford Olympia. Fifth place Galesburg. Sixth is Chatham Glenwood. Here we come home. This is Allie Goff, a sophomore for the Springfield Senators. Next in is Grace Beatty. And Mehta is third for Muhammad. Fourth place, Stanford Olympia. Naomi Springer. And we'll see it on the scoreboard here in a second. 9:38.81 for Springfield. They're actually slower than some of the competitors in heat number 2. Woodstock is second with a 9:44.40. Muhammad third with a 9:47.99. The 100 hurdles may report to the tent. Call on the 100-meter hurdles. Report to the tent.
And they're off clean start. Maybe not bring them back. We'll bring them back. We'll reset that heat. We need a coach from Muhammad Seymour to please report to the dugout. We need a coach from Muhammad Seymour. Please report to the dugout.
Okay, let's take this opportunity. Hey, and how about Keeneland? Go ahead.
All right, everyone survived. outside of lane 7 is empty. Second time around is a clean start. We go right to Springfield Southeast. That's Michaela Anderson out in lane number 5. We go to the first exchange here. Maple Park Canelan also. Springfield Southeast will take it. That is Mrs. Robinson out in lane number 5. You also have Heinzer of Canelan, Highland Park Canelan. We go to the third exchange. Springfield Southeast in the white in the middle. A big jump for Canelan. That is Strenham Nicole coming around the south curve. We go to the anchors. And it looks like Maple Park Canelan will take the lead. Springfield Southeast drops to third. We have Noble Street out in lane number 6. Noble now, that's Ryan Presley of the Chicago Public League, and she will take the win out in lane number 648. And some change, Canelan Southeast followed by Springfield Southeast. What a great anchor by Mrs. Presley of Chicago Noble Street. That is Johnson, and we'll go to the board. 48-42. And a clean start here. We have featured Ebony McClendon of Brooks out in lane number 4. She's the anchor leg, but we'll go to the first exchange. That is going to be Lindblom out in lane number 7. Getting the baton now in the middle, we have Springfield. That is Ingrid Samuels out in lane number 2. On the outside of them, we have Glenbard South. And Glenbard and Springfield. Springfield now battling Brooks is still down there in 5th place. We go to the middle, Springfield Southeast, Glenbard in 2nd, Springfield in 1st. Brooks is there, Ebony McClendon now receives the baton, and you're going to see her in 3rd now, making up the staggers tremendously. Springfield's trying to hold on. Ebony McClendon, that is Brooks. Brooks is in 2nd, Springfield, Brooks, and Glenbard South will go 1, 2, 3. Ebony McClendon, you'll see her later today, probably in the 100, an outstanding leg for Brooks to pull him in 2nd, but Springfield will take the win, 48-34. And a clean start. We'll have a battle between Triad Cahokia and Kankakee. We go to the first leg, and Kankakee, that's Lekara Harmon. And it's even all the way around. That is going to be Cahokia, Kankakee, and Troy Triad. They go down the backstretch. Kankakee, second leg, that's Jemiah Bates now making a smooth move here. They'll take the lead as the stick will continue to move for Kankakee Cahokia. They have now separated themselves. Troy Triad in the mix as well. We'll go to the anchors here. That is lane number 6. Kankakee first, followed by Cahokia. Moving well. Looks like the seniors of Kankakee will finish this one up, followed by Cahokia. Will go 6, 5, 7. That's Decatur MacArthur. Anchor leg there for Decatur MacArthur. That is Lawson. Still in the 3rd spot. We go to the board. Final call for the 100 hurdles. Please report to the tent. Everybody's clean over the first hurdle. That's McNamara. McNamara again leading the way. In second, it looks like it's going to be Nelson. McCannon and Nelson. Nelson and McCanna. And we go to lane 6, 5, and then 3. 6 is McCannon, 5 is Nelson, 3 is Edwards of Sycamore. They go 1, 2, 3. We go to the board. In lane 2, Alexis Smith of Plano. We have Bryce Windrich of Burlington Central, Tyra Booth of Mount Carmel. Out in lane number 5, Ranisha Lewis of Cahokia. In lane number 6, Nia Edwards of Rich South. In lane number 7, we have Emma Hopkins of Springfield Sacred Heart. Hannah Vanderhayden in lane number 8 of Geneseo. And in lane number 9, Caitlin Gaff of Hampshire. This is the final call for the 100-meter dash. Final call, all competitors, please report to the tent. It's a close one out in lane number 7. That's Emma Hopkins. Correction, lane 8, that's Van Hayden. And now we have Cahokia and Lewis. So we go 5, Renisha Lewis of Cahokia. Tyra Buss, Mount Carmel. Hannah of Geneseo, Vanderhayden. And we'll set the field. In lane number 2, Sarah Phillips of Chicago Brooks. Lane number 3, we have Shantae Stonewall of Normal University. We have lane number 4, Takira Bruford of Cahokia. Lane number 5, Caitlin Hill of Glenbard South. Lane number 6, Tyron Taylor of Marion. Grace Corin of Oak Parks Fenwick. Lane number 8, Maddie Day of Morton. And Kiera McClin of Chicago Marshall, the Commandos. We need a coach from Rich East to the clerk's tent. We need a coach from Rich East to the clerk's tent. And it's clean. Cahokia with a great jump now coming along. That is Glenbard South. Lane number 5, that's Hill running on a mission. Stonewall out in lane number 7. We go 5-3-7. 5-3-7 on the finish. Hill, Stonewall, and Cronin. We go to the board. That was the third and final heat of the girls' 100-meter hurdles.
Clean start in the middle is Lee. Lean 4 is Sloan of Trinity. It's Sloan and Lee. Sloan on the inside. Sloan, Lee, and Patty. Sloan, Lee, and Patty. That is your order. 4, 5, 6. River Forest Trinity's Sloan. 12:30. Lee of Eisenhower. 12:52. Patty of Springfield with a 12:59. All right, here's number 2 of the girls' 100 dash. We've got Leona Burton of Morrison, 2. Tawana Eason, Kankakee in 3. Sierra Thompson of the Mattoon Green Wave will be in 4. Ryan Priestley, Chicago Noble Street Charter in 5. Sharon Manyor of Champaign Central in 6. Alexis Dewar, Antioch in 7. LaDacia Steen Yates, Peoria Richwoods in 8. And Delaney Duncan of the Galesburg Silver Streaks out in 9. Here's Priestley in the middle for this race. Manyor ran well at Mattoon last week, and Sierra Thompson. And we go right away, and here's Priestley coming aboard with Manyor in behind. It's all Ryan Priestley. Everybody else is even. Big battle for second. Priestley with the win. 8 and 6. Steen Yates in there, and Manyor for Champaign Central. The clock will have to figure out second place. 12:05. The win for Ryan Priestley of Chicago Noble Street. Amber Mayo, Chicago Lindblom in this race in 2. Rain Bodine, the Geneseo Maple Leafs in 3. Caroline Fletcher, Marion, Southern Illinois' Marion in 4. Ebony McClendon, Chicago Gwendolyn Brooks in 5. Nicole Shreenham, Maple Park Canelan in 6. Final call for the 800-meter runners to the tent. Final call. Leah Kloss of Grays Lake Central in 7. Mikia Anderson, Springfield Southeast in 8. And the freshman, Amanda Peterson for the Wildcats of Wheaton St. Francis out in 9. Guns up. All right, we're watching McClendon. And McClendon coming across with Bodine. It is 5 with the win, followed by 3, 4 in there for Marion. McClendon the apparent win. And Bodine of Geneseo looks like she was in there for second. The board says McClendon at a 12:32. Bodine, Geneseo in second. And our competitors now on the track for heat number 1 of 3, 2A, 800-meter run. The field will include in lane number 3, Maddie Hoffman of the Latin School, Chicago. Megan Carroll of Arlington Heights, St. Viator in 4. Brittany Fisher, Lombard Montini in 5. In 6, Tyra Buss, the senior for Mount Carmel. The Aces from Southern Illinois in 6. Sharana Baker, Rich Township South, Richton Park in 10. Delaney Apino, we saw her in the 4x800 earlier. She'll be in 11. Zoe Mead of Princeton in 12. Madeline Bruce. Marion, a freshman, out in position 13. Super Alleys in this race. Again, we have a call on the 4x2 to the tent. Call for the 4x2 to the tent. Bruce is wearing yellow over black for the Marion Wildcats. Flights 1 and 2 of the discus warm-ups underway. 13, 12, 6, and 4 here. It's Bruce and Mead and Buss in third. The record is 2:10.78, set last year by Michelle Dobbs of Rochelle. Tight, very packed. After the first 300, it's Marion in the lead, followed by Zoe Mead of Princeton. And the forerunner coming up on the inside, Carol of St. Viator. There's Tyra Buss, Mount Carmel, wearing the purple with white stripe. 400 to go. Madeline Bruce, the freshman, continues in the lead. Bruce looks like Buss now to the inside on the rail in second. Bruce, Buss, Zoe Mead of Princeton in the blue. Let's check them on the back stretch. Mead running very well. There's Princeton into second, Buss in third, Carroll in fourth. Zoe Mead looking to track down Madeline Bruce. Into the mix now is Megan Carroll, into third for St. Viator. Here is Zoe Mead trying to see the outside. Bruce has led from the start. Now Zoe Mead will challenge Zoe Mead to the lead. Following her, Megan Carroll. Here's Tyra Buss trying to come through the middle. Buss trying to look for second, see if she can catch Mead to the finish line. It's Princeton, then Mount Carmel, then Viator, then Marion. There's your top four in that race. Zoe Mead, 2:15.28. Tyra Buss in second, 2:15.68. Carol of St. Viator, 2:16.14. Bruce is fourth. Here's the 800-meter run, section 2. They head to the Super Alleys. Samaya Lewis, Chicago Brooks in 3. Mariah Torres, Peoria High School, the Lions in 4. We have Hannah Huska, the senior, for Monticello in 5. Allie Goff, Springfield High. We saw her with a qualifier earlier in 6. Stephanie Ramos, Noble Street Charter in 9. Meg O'Kane, Nazareth Academy, LaGrange Park in 10. The Galena Pirates will have Einsweiler Haley in 11. Mackenzie Dixon of Mascoutah will be in 12. And Leilani Hill of the Patriots, Massac County Metropolis in 13. All right, clean start here. Again, Leilani Hill of Massac County. There she is. Second call on the 4x200 meters report. Second call, 4x2 meter report. Mariah Torres in the mix and in the lead here in the front, followed by Leilani Hill of Massac County. And then we have a 12 runner, that's Dixon of Mascoutah. And the 6 runner, Springfield, Allie Goff. And we see Huska looking to the outside for the Monticello Sages. Pack very tight. Springfield has the best chance to move up there in the 4 position. Huska trying to push in from behind. Now heading for 400 to go. It's still anybody's race as Hill and Torres battle still at the front of the pack into the south curve. Into the front now, we got Allie Goff of Springfield. And Leilani Hill chasing Goff. Into third place is Meg O'Kane of Nazareth. And coming around is 12. That is Mackenzie Dixon, a freshman for Mascouda. As we hit the north curve, it's still Springfield. Haley of Galena coming up into the picture. As they come out of the scoreboard shadow, it's 11. It's Haley of Galena. And 13 still in the lead is Leonie Hill. Hill with Springfield's O'Kane. Huska looking to finish in the top 6. Looks like Hill with the win, followed by Springfield, then Galena. Hill, 2:19.22. For Metropolis. Goff. Springfield second. Final call for the 4x200s. All right. Final race of the preliminaries of the 800 meters in Class 2A. We have Alexa Beeshold, Ileana Christian, the Vikings from Lansing in 3. Haley Johnson, Chatham Glenwood in 4. The senior and the all-stater from cross country, Allie Sprague, Marengo in 5. Naomi Springer, Stanford Olympia in 6. The other Super Alley starts with Jill Van Dyke of Palos Heights, Chicago Christian. Abby Richter, Troy Triad in 10. Shayna Phillips, Effingham. The Flaming Hearts will be in 11. Christina Cladar, Rockford Boylan Catholic in 12. And undefeated this year, Karina Liz, the sophomore, Aurora Central Catholic.
All right, here's who's qualifying for Saturday in the 4x8 meter relay. In lane 1, we have Stanford Olympia. In lane 2, we have Monmouth. Lane 3 will be Woodstock High School. 4 will be Aurora Rosary. 5 is Mattoon. 6 is U High, that's Normal University. 7 is Hampshire. Lane 8 will be Highland. In lane number 9, we have Rockford Boylan Catholic. In lane 10 is Washington. Lane 11 will be Springfield High School. And finally, topping it off with lane 12, we have Lombard.
It's Liz, followed by Beeshold, Sprague, and Cladar. And we can see why Liz has had a chokehold on this event all season. Karina Liz, Aurora Central Catholic. Next runner is the 3 runner. That is Beeshold of Ileana Christian, 400 to go for Liz. Then we got Allie Sprague of Marengo. And I believe Cladar is still in there for Boylan. Liz exits the south curve onto the back stretch. Karina Liz, 123, 124. Question is, how close can she get to a record? There's Ileana Christian, now a battle for third as the 12 runner Cladar comes in for Boylan. 137 at the 6 mark. Here is Karina Liz into the curve. New second right now, no, that's still Ileana. New third is Boylan. And then we've got Allie Sprague. Here she comes home. Karina Liz continues the unbeaten streak. She's going to hit the 2-minute mark right now. It's going to be close for the record here in the preliminaries. 2:07, 2:08, 2:10 is right there. Maybe she can get it on Saturday because she qualifies for the finals. Here's Allie Sprague coming in, trying to get second place. And then third is Boylan. 2:12.69 for Karina Liz. Allie Sprague sneaks into second for Marengo. It's Cladar of Boylan in third, 2:18.90. Beeshold is fourth for the Vikings of Ileana Christian. Johnson next in for Chatham Glenwood. In the 6th spot, it's Richter Troy Triad. First call for the 400. First call for the 400 to the 10th. Phillips is 7th for Effingham. Then Springer of Stanford and Van Dyke of Palos Heights. The win, Karina Liz, will go on to Saturday's finals for Aurora Central Catholic.
And it's a clean start here on the field for the first heat of the 4x200 meter relay. It looks like the Chicago Brooks will waste no time in trying to break the stagger. That's Phillips moving in well on Springfield Southeast. That runner is Michaela Anderson. And we'll go to the first exchange here. Looks like it's going to be Brooks, followed by Springfield Southeast, and also we have Sycamore out in lane number 7, but out to a good start out in lane number 9. That is Clinton. Clinton now holding their own. We'll move in the middle. Springfield Southeast now trying to pull back into the lead. Brooks, second leg. That's Becca Richmond for Canelan. And we have Bell on the second leg here for Brooks. We go to it, Springfield Southeast, followed by Brooks and Clinton still in that third spot. Springfield Southeast now is going to exit out of the north curve into the back stretch. Brooks is starting to drop here. They're in third. Clinton is in second. Southeast still leading, and we go to the anchors here. Springfield Southeast will hand off the baton. Ebony McClendon just received it. And also you have Maple Park Canelan is going to be a battle for the anchors. Brooks now, Ebony McClendon is back into the mix, spinning out of the south curve. And she has red eyes looking at the finish line. Ebony McClendon from Chicago. Brooks from the south side will finish after an extraordinary leg, 5-6-4. Brooks, Springfield Southeast, and Canelan. Ebony McClendon finishes it out in heat number 1. We'll go to the board here. We need a coach from Boylan Catholic to the dugout. We need a coach from Boylan Catholic to the dugout. It's very even here for our first leg. A small move. That is Galesburg High School. Galesburg, Springfield. Springfield still there. In the middle, lane number 5. Springfield first, followed by Morgan Park. Glenbard South on the outside. We'll check in with that Glenbard South runner. Caitlin Holstrom of Glenbard South. And in the middle, Morgan Park. That is the second leg, Connie Parker. And Springfield's second leg was Riley Silver. Springfield now into the third leg. That is Kyra Webster. Webster moving well. Morgan Park trying to mix it up. And on the outside of them, that's Galesburg again, trying to get back into it there in second. Morgan Park, the Mustangs, in third. Springfield starting to mix it up. Final exchange here for Springfield. Morgan Park, followed by Galesburg. Springfield, we go Sarah Sampinski, followed by Morgan Park. That is Kaylee Pierre. And it looks like it's all Springfield, Morgan Park, and Galesburg. The stagger is finally done. Springfield will take this one. Morgan Park will probably gallop into second, and Galesburg out in lane number 7. We go Springfield, Morgan Park, Galesburg, and Freeport. Great run by Springfield. Open and shut case for the ladies out in lane number 5. Springfield 142.87. Morgan Park, the Mustangs 144.38. Clean start. Stagger still not broken, pretty even as the runners exit the north curve onto the backstretch. Kankakee is moving up with Noble Street. That's Johnson College Prep. And we'll go to the first exchange here. It looks like it's going to be Johnson and Kankakee. Tricky on that exchange, but it's all white flags. We go here out of the south curve. We have Centralia out in 9. There's Park Forest Rich East. And we have the K's of Kankakee. That's Jamana Bates. And Noble Street, that is McDonald. Kankakee and Johnson back-to-back. Shaniqua Huber. It's still Kankakee. The K's running well, trying to open up the distance between Johnson, which is in second, and will move well. We're going to feature here in the anchor leg for Johnson, Ryan Priestley. She won the 100-meter prelim easily, and we're going to see how she can do in the 200. Kankakee K's and Ryan Priestley will not disappoint. She's breaking the stagger immediately. Tawana Eason and Ryan Priestley. And it's a foot race now. Priestley will be the queen of the 4x2 anchor leg here in the preliminaries. Eason will fall back for the K's. We go to the finish 142 and some change. And we have one coming in third. That's De La Salle. And we'll go to the board. Again, an outstanding run by all teams.
In lane number 2 here of the first race, Chelsea Billingsley, Chicago Noble Street. In 3, Madeline Jemrozek, Lombard Montini. Lakonka Collins of Freeport will be in 4. Maria Hudson Cahokia in 5. In 6, Christy Smith of the Bremen Braves, Midlothian in 6. Alexis Henry, Springfield Southeast in 7. Haley Tranchatella, Washington in 8. And Tatiana Nieves of Trinity in 9. In this race, the state's best is Maria Hudson of Cahokia. You've seen her right here. She posted a 55.46. Sectional best, which you'll see in the third race, is Lexi Duncan of Dixon, 57.53. Watch Smith of Midlothian as well in this race. Leaders are in the middle. There's Cahokia. From 5, she continues to control the middle. Hudson of Cahokia. With her is Smith of Bremen. Although it's now Cahokia in the middle, there's Bremen, and Springfield Southeast. As you straighten it around, it is Maria Hudson all the way, the freshman. And here is Christy Smith, as predicted, your 1-2. Hudson and Smith in this race. Then you got Alexis Henry of Springfield Southeast. 5, 6, 7, 2. Putting it in there. Also Billingsley of Noble Street. The win to Maria Hudson. Let's see how that compares against 55-46. 56-55, the win for Cahokia. Smith is second for Midlothian Bremen at a 57-87. Henry third for Springfield Southeast, 59-60. Brenda Halverson, Richmond Burton in lane number 2. Zoe Mead, we saw her run well for Princeton earlier today. She'll be in 3. Kiara Weir of Springfield High is in 4. The Senators in 4. Nicole Shreenham, Maple Park Canelan is in 5. Nia Pearl, Minor Clark, Chicago De La Salle Institute, the Meteors in 6. Cece Rica, Peoria Notre Dame in 7. Sophie Stricker of the Harvard Hornets in 8. And Alex Thompson, the University of Chicago High School, the Maroons, in 9. This is race number 2 of 3. All right, we're looking at the final call on the 300 hurdles. Final call, 300 hurdles. And Shreenham of Caneland, and there's Minor Clark of De La Salle. Meteors moving to the front of the field. Nia Pearl, Minor Clark, your top runner here as they come through with 300 to go. 200 now inside of coming down into the hundreds. It is Minor Clark, Chicago De La Salle, who's coming up on her inside. And we lost someone there. 5, it's Shreenham. We lost Minor Clark in trying to accelerate the win to Nicole Shreenham. Maple Park Canelan, Minor Clark stunned in trying to turn it back on. She went down. She's going to finish the race. Great effort. Shame that she couldn't battle for the finish there at the end, but the win is to Maple Park Caneland. Now to race number 3. Again, we have had final call in the 300s. 300 hurdles. Now we have Dominique Lewis in lane number 2 for Champaign Centennial. Emma Griffiths, New Lenox Providence Catholic, the Celtics in 3. Deja Evans, Rich Township South, Richton Park in 4. The Dixon Dukes, Lexi Duncan in 5. But there's Karina Liz. You saw her win the 800. She's now in the 400 here for Aurora Central Catholic. Kelsey Ferguson, Chicago Morgan Park in 7. Charday Galladay, Mount Vernon will be in 8. And here's Twinkle Mehta of the Bulldogs of Mahomet Seymour. She'll be in 9. This is the 400 dash final section.
First call, flights 3 and 4 of the discus.
First call, flights 3 and 4 of the discus. Guns up. Once again, Duncan with the sectional best of 57.53. Watch her in the middle, and let's see what Karina Liz puts together in this race. There's Liz, and the field is kind of splitting right now between top 4 and bottom 4. On the outside, you've got Morgan Parks Ferguson there in the all green. It's still Ferguson. There's Dixon in the purple. Duchesses of Dixon coming around. Again, you got Duncan. Duncan will straighten it out right now. It's Duncan and Ferguson. Duncan and Ferguson. Oh, it's stride for stride. It's Duncan on the inside, Ferguson on the outside, and Ferguson tried to do it. Ferguson's coming. It's going to be Duncan. It is Lexi Duncan, challenged all the way in the straightaway by Kelsey Ferguson. Duncan had to hold on, and she did, 56-54. Ferguson of the Mustangs, Morgan Park, 56-60. Then Evans of Richton Park in third. Lewis is fourth for Champaign Centennial. Call again for the 1,600 meters to the tent. Call for competitors 1,600 meters to the tent. They're looking for final call. The gun is up on the 300. All right, in the middle here, you've got Tyra Buss. And she has a nice start. She's going to be challenged, though, by Nelson, Hawking, and Salzbrunn. It's still Buss as we go early into the hurdles. Buss is moving up. Down there at lane 3, Witter running well for Washington. It's still Tyra Buss as we come out of the curve. Buss wants another qualifying slot for Saturday. Tyra Buss, Miss Basketball in Illinois. Here's Nelson coming on for Rochester, and there's Witter for Washington. It's all Tyra Buss to the last hurdle. Tyra Buss qualifies again for Saturday, and then Washington's Witter, 3 and 4. Salzbrunn in there for Montini. Let's see what the clock posts in this first of 3 race. Heat number 2 of 3 into the blocks there in the southeast corner of the stadium. Soraya Phillips, Chicago, Gwendolyn Brooks in 2. Ingrid Samuels, Springfield High, the Senators in 3. Takira Buford, Cahokia in 4. Caitlin Hill in the middle. Hill is a leader in this event, but she's going to try to get in by automatic out of lane number 5 with a win. Shantae Stonewall, Normal University in 6. The Thornridge Falcons of Dalton have Tatiana Groom in 7. Abby Hammer, Aurora Rosary will be in 8. And from Burbank, Queen of Peace High School, Tia Reed will be in 9. Gun is up. Like I said, Caitlin Hill upset in the sectional last week. She can get in by winning, but she's got Cahokia one side of her and Normal University the other, and they're already very close. There in the red over blue would be Hill. So Hill trying to hold the middle of the race. Just outside of her is Shante Stonewall. It's Hill and Stonewall right now. Stonewall of Normal U-High. Hill has the advantage on the inside. Stonewall's got a little jump there. Stonewall is inching in front of Hill. Stonewall, Hill. We're heading to the final hurdle. They're even, stride for stride. Stonewall, Hill, and it is too close to call. Too close to call. In now at 2 is Phillips of Chicago. Brooks. Perhaps the clock will tell us very quickly what we were watching, but it's too close to call between Hill and Stonewall from this group. It's Hill 44-20 and 44-21 for Stonewall. Heat number 3 into the blocks. Again, final call on the 1600. In the blocks right now, here's your field. Kiara Macklin, Chicago Marshall in 1. Grace Beatty, the sophomore from Woodstock. In 2, you saw her anchor the 4x8 earlier. Emma Hopkins of Springfield Sacred Heart will be in 3. Jasmine Castillo of Burlington Central in 4. Grace Cronin, the state leader of Oak Park Fenwick, the Friars in 5. Taylor Smith of Mattoon is in this race. In 6, Ashley Tira Sterling in 7, Elizabeth Pagan, Hampshire in 8, and the Romans of Latin School will have Keegan Barone in 9. All right, let's see if Cronin can reproduce her sectional best. Cronin of Oak Park Fenwick. And she is in a good position. She's moving forward. Outside of her is Taylor Smith of Mattoon. Smith put Mattoon in the lead earlier in the 4x8 that they eventually came in second. Here is Cronin. Cronin is all that. Taylor Smith right behind for Mattoon. On the inside, you've got Castillo of Burlington Central. The Rockets, it's going to be the Friars. It is Cronin of Fenwick. Mattoon's Taylor Smith will come in second, and then it looks like Jasmine Castillo third. The win is to Fenwick. Cronin validates her sectional performance of 44.95 for Cronin. Smith of Mattoon, 46.57. 1,600 meter runners now onto the track. There are 3 preliminaries. In the 1,600 meter run, you watch Sydney Billingsley of Normal University. She has the state's best overall time. She's under 5, 4:59. Sectional best is Billingsley with a 5:06.78. You saw Billingsley with a winning anchor earlier for the Pioneers. Zobrist is a factor in this. For Highland, Mary Jean Gilbert of Peoria Notre Dame also to factor in for Saturday. Let's look at the field in heat number 1. Megan Schaefer of Mattoon is in the lead position. There in the green and gold. She won the sectional in Mattoon. She will take the first position in this first race. We'll give it back to the starter and give you the rest of the field after the start of the race. 1,600 meters, Class 2A. All right, here we go. Macy Brown of Taylorville, the Tornadoes are in 3. Karen Paisley of the Macomb Bombers, McDonough County, out in 4. Maggie Lalowski, Sycamore, will be in 5. Abby Jokish of Dunlop, a junior, and we've seen her before for the Eagles, in 6. Elsa Erling of Chicago University. The Maroons from Hyde Park are in 9. Katie Bush, Burlington Central, in 10. Kate Jacobs, a freshman for Woodstock, in 11. Mercedes Sanchez of Sterling in 12. And we've noted Megan Schaefer in position 13. Schaefer was a favorite in this last year and did not qualify for the finals. So she's got some things to prove and move on here, although she's just a junior for the Green Wave. There's Schaefer in the 2nd position right now as we head to the first 400. And the forerunner, which is Paisley of Macomb. And we know that Paisley has done well in this event in earlier years as well. So you have Macomb and Mattoon, your 1-2. Again, the state's best, just under 5, by Billingsley of Normal U-High. So first 400, we're right now at a minute and a half, as the field is now all in the backstretch, still very tight. You have Paisley in the lead. You've got Schaefer on the outside. The 10 runner is Kate Bush of Burlington Central, the Rockets there. Then we have a 3 runner in that pack, Macy Brown of Taylorville, the Tornadoes, in the top group. And the 5 runner also in play, that's Lalowski of Sycamore. Round the north scoreboard they go. Paisley and Schaefer, your 1-2. Burlington Central follows with Sycamore, Taylorville, Dunlap, that's Jokish. Sterling next in. Sterling's runner is Sanchez. Mercedes Sanchez in the yellow over black. Behind Sanchez is the 11 runner, which is Kate Jacobs of Woodstock. All right, we're heading for the halfway mark. First call 200 to the 10th, first call 200 dash to the 10th. We still got Paisley and Schaefer, your 1-2, but right in dangerous striking distance is Burlington Central's Kate Bush and Taylorville's Macy Brown. And they head to the back stretch again in that same relative position. The 5 and 6 runners are the 3-4s. Lalowski of Sycamore is the 5 runner, the 6 is Jokish. And that's your top 4. Paisley and Schaefer, and there's Jokish going to the lead for the Dunlop Eagles, Abby Jokish. Schaefer pulls up now behind Jokish. Paisley is in the 3rd spot, and I believe that is Sycamore in the 4. We have a distinct separation now with the first 4 runners. That is Lalowski of Sycamore, and the 11 runner has come up to lead the next group. That's Jacobs of Woodstock. It's going to take an effort to make the front 4. We're heading to the bell, and now we have Megan Schaefer, and she's at the less than 4 minute mark right now. She's under 4 with 400 to go. And Schaefer, we saw this about the same last week on her home track at Mattoon, dominating the race in the rain as well. So in great weather, we see just as much or even more. That is Megan Schaefer of Mattoon. And she's opening it up on Jokish. Lalowski 3rd. Paisley has faded to 4th for Macomb. It is still Megan Schaefer at the 4:39 mark. She approaches the scoreboard, 4:42. She'll make it in just above 5. If I look at her time from last week at Mattoon in the mile, here's Schaefer coming home. Schaefer had a 5:14.65. She's at 5 minutes right now. Now here comes Paisley and Jokic, but they're not going to catch Schaefer. Here is Schaefer heading for the win. 5-10, 5-11, the win Schaefer. Then Jokic, Paisley, Lalowski. And coming in next is the 11 runner. It's Kate Jacobs, a freshman for Woodstock. Here is Mercedes Sanchez in next, and Bush following for Burlington Central. Trying to bring it on, running against the clock right now, the 9 runner is Erling of the University of Chicago. And next in is Macy Brown of Taylorville. That will clear the track. The win in race number 1 and a qualifying spot on Saturday, Megan Schaefer Mattoon. Race number 2 of 3 as the Super Rallies form. The position of honor, the 13 position, is Mary Jean Gilbert. Peoria Notre Dame, she's on the outside of the front Super Rally. In here also, watch Abigail Nadler of the Latin School. Part of that great effort in cross country last year at Detweiler for the Romans. Lauren Whitehouse did a fantastic job winning the 3200 at Mattoon last week. She runs for Muhammad Seymour. We'll give you the rest of the field after the start of the race. Mary Jean Gilbert with a 5:11.78, second in the state out of the sectionals. Sophomore for Peoria Notre Dame. Here's the field. Lane number 3, Brandy DeDecker, Murfreesboro. In 3, Shelby Stiltman, a freshman for Stanford Olympia. In 4, Lauren Whitehouse, sophomore for Muhammad Seymour. She's better even in the 3200 than what we have here in the 16. She's in 5. Olivia Ryan, Oak Park, Fenwick. And she is a force to be reckoned with. Been a great all-state runner at Detweiler for Fenwick. Ryan in the 6th spot. And then we have Abigail Nadler of the Latin School. Claire O'Donnell, a senior for Providence Catholic New Lenox, in 10. Madison Rosone of Aurora Rosary in 11. Megan Carroll, Arlington Heights, St. Viator in 12. Very close pack. I see Fenwick in the top 3. First call, flight 2 of the long jump. First call, flight 2 of the long jump. The 11 runner and the 10 runner are your 1-2. 11 is Ronzone, Rosary. O'Donnell of Providence. There's your leaders in a very tight pack after 400. Just under 120 in time.
I'll save this for you for the TV.
Everybody's still very tight on the back stretch. 11, 13, 10 right now. The 11 runner runs on. There's Gilbert in the 2nd spot. Then the 10 is O'Donnell. And right there with him is Olivia Ryan. Anyone could break out of this as they judge each other eventually for the bell lap. There's a 12 runner pushing to the outside, Megan Carroll of St. Viator. She's in the white over black. Leader is still Rosary. Mary Jean Gilbert in the 2nd there. 10 runner on the inside is O'Donnell. Olivia Ryan right there in the middle. In the 6th, there's the 10 runner. There's Claire O'Donnell of Providence Catholic. You pick them. We're halfway home at the 2:34 mark. Race number 2 of 3. Real competitive in this field. St. Viator's in 2nd now. And right behind Mary Jean Gilbert. So Notre Dame is in 1st, and then St. Viator, and there's Olivia Ryan in 3rd for the Fenwick Friars. And the 11 runner is back into 4, Madison Runzone of Aurora Rosary. And Mary Jean Gilbert has the lead. Gilbert in to the north curve. Second is St. Viator's Megan Carroll. She's a senior. Here's Olivia Ryan in third place for Fenwick, followed by Rosary. There's the Latin School. There's Nadler. And behind them, the 10 runner is Claire O'Donnell of Providence. And the 4 runner is Stiltman of Stanford Olympia. Now we have 400 to go. And Mary Jean Gilbert has a notable lead as they start to pick off the final 400. Call for flight 2 of the long jump. Call for flight 2 of the long jump. Second call for the 200 dash to the 10th. Second call 200 dash. We are in preparation for the high jump in Class 3A. Class 3A high jump. First call, Mary Jean Gilbert, all-state cross-country runner for Notre Dame. She's in the lead right now. Battle is for second, as the 11 runner is Ron Zone still in there for Rosary. Rosary, the Latin School, Nadler is moving up. Here comes St. Viator back, Carroll. The battle for second. And can they put any pressure on Mary Jean Gilbert? Well, Carroll's trying to. Here comes Carroll for Arlington Heights St. Viator. And there also is Olivia Ryan. Ryan looking to hawk up third. It's not over yet. Megan Carroll trying to catch Mary Jean Gilbert. Now it is. Mary Jean Gilbert with the win, followed by Carroll of Arlington Heights Viator. Very close for Olivia Ryan. Here in the third spot, Gilbert has the win at 5:06:33. Carroll is second, 5:07:13, and by 1/100th of a second, Ryan will get third on Ron Zone of Aurora Rosary. Great race for Rosary. There's Nadler of the Latin School. All runners in the 200-meter dash need to report to the tent now. All runners of the 200-meter dash report. And now, race number 3. And we have Sydney Billingsley, Normal University, in the 13 position. Right next to her, though, Allison Zobrist of Highland. Zobrist can cut up any field of competition. We've seen that. And she's just a sophomore for the Highland Bulldogs. There's your 1-2 in this. Another Latin School runner is Victoria Bianco. And Maddie Tutich of Monticello. Those would be 4 of the leaders into this final race of the 1600. We'll go to the starter, setting the field afterwards. Final call, flights 1 and 2 long jump. Champaign Centennial coach to the clerk's tent. Champaign Centennial's coach to the clerk's tent. In position 2, Samaya Lewis, Chicago, Gwendolyn Brooks. In 3, Brianna Daly, Oak Park, Fenwick. In 4, Natalie Kroll, New Lenox, Lincoln Way. In 5, Kara Martin, Heron. In 6, Ellie Wilging, the Freeport Pretzels. Again in 9, Victoria Bianco, the Romans of the Latin School, Chicago. Maddie Tucic of the Monticello Sages will be in 10. Leslie Roca, LaSalle, Peru in 11. Allison Zobrist of Highland in 12. And the state favorite, Sydney Billingsley, the senior for the Pioneers of U-High. Early leader, though, is the forerunner. That's Kroll of, that's Lincoln Way Central, the Knights. There's Billingsley holding on the second position, and the 12 runner is third. There's Zobrist. And then 11 is Roca of LaSalle, Peru. LaSalle, Peru in the white, red, and black. Then we have the 5 runner, Kara Martin, sophomore of Heron, with Wilging of Freeport. Everybody very close. Billingsley content with second place at the moment, as Kroll keeps the early lead. Top pack of 6. We've got movement on the outside for the 6th runner. That is Wilging of Freeport. Still Lincoln Way Central, then University High Normal. 6 moves up another spot. That's Wilging. The 12 runner, Zobrist, still in the mix but fading back. There's LaSalle, Peru. And then the 5 runner, which is Kara Martin of Heron. Heron wearing red, orange over black. It's still Lincoln Way Central, then Billingsley, then Zobrist. LaSalle, Peru next, followed by Highland. There is Heron and Kara Martin. 6 runners, 2 packs of 3. At 2:35 at the half-mile mark. 2:35 coming around. Still Lincoln Way Central's Natalie Kroll. She's a sophomore. Billingsley has led Normal U High to at least 1 state final berth earlier today. Zobrist still right behind Billingsley. And Wilging coming up. And still very close here, Billingsley. That's Lincoln Way West that Kroll runs for. The Warriors now 6 to the outside. 6 is Wilging of Freeport. Let's double check that. There are the Pretzels. Freeport. Billingsley. Now we're heading to the 400 mark, the bell. And there's LaSalle, Peru's Roca. And Heron still right behind. First call on the 4x400 meter relay. First call, 4x400 meter. Okay, now it's time to put it down. Who will take the lead? Less than 400 to go. It's Freeport. Freeport first. Here comes Billingsley swinging to the outside. Freeport is Wilging. Billingsley still trying to come around. Billingsley still in second. And Lincoln Way's Kroll. In the third, it's Freeport and U High. Wilging and Billingsley. 4 and 13.6, which is Wilging. 6, Wilging. Billingsley right there. Wilging has the rail. Here is 4. That's Kroll of Lincoln Way West. Moving up is Roca. Here we go to the finish. Billingsley. Billingsley to the lead. Perfect set for the senior from Normal, Sydney Billingsley. Will check off another final spot for Saturday at 5:05, the win, Normal University. Followed by Freeport, and then Lincoln Way West, LaSalle, Peru, Heron. And I think Zobrist is next in. Billingsley, 5:05.79. Wilging of Freeport, 5:06.52. Roca is third for LaSalle, Peru. Kroll is the 4th runner for New Lenox, Lincoln Way West. Then Martin of Heron. Zobrist is 6th for Highland. Bianco follows for the Latin School, followed by Daly of Fenwick and Lewis of Brooks. There's Tutich in there for Monticello.
On the track now, the girls' preliminary rounds for the 200-meter dash will set the field in lane number 2, Olivia Hoy of Timothy Christian, and lane number 3, Aisha Croft of Carbondale, lane number 4, Alexis Dura of Antioch, lane number 5, Mariah Hudson of Cahokia, lane number 6, Cornisha Johnson of Thorn Ridge, lane number 7, Jamari Drake of Springfield Southeast, and in lane 8, Rihanna Carson of Evergreen Park. Shot put weigh-in has been open for athletes to weigh their implements. Shot put implement, please weigh in at this time. We go to the track. It looks like that is Cahokia in lane number 5. That is Miss Hudson, followed by lane number 6. That is Johnson of Thorn Ridge, followed closely by Drake from Springfield Southeast. We'll go 5, 6, 7. That is Hudson, Johnson, and Drake for the opening heat of the preliminaries of the 200-meter dash. In lane number 2, Jada Price of Chicago De La Salle. Lane number 3, Amber Mayo of Chicago Lindblom. Michaela Patty in lane number 4, Springfield High School. Lane 5, Ashley Simmons of Freeport. Mattoon, Sierra Thompson, the freshman. Lane number 6, the sophomore, Amber Jones of Rich South, the Stars. Jenna Seal, the senior, out in lane number 8, Rain Bodine. And they're off. Clean start. Ashley Simmons, the senior, in lane number 5 from Freeport. She is in the early lead. And 7, that is going to be Amber Jones, the sophomore of Richton Park. Richton Park, the sophomore, now pulling it in, is 5 and 7. 7 in the near lead. That's Simmons and Jones. Simmons and Jones. Thompson, we go to 5, 7, 6. 5, 7, 6. From my eyes up here in the press box. We'll go to the scoreboard here in just a second, but Ashley Simmons trying to hold off the sophomore Amber Jones, and it is Simmons, followed by Thompson, sneaks into the second spot. And we're underway. Burton in 2, Halverson in 3, Kloss of Grays Lake in 4, Priestley out in lane number 5, Dominique Lewis in 6, Kelsey Pierre in 7, and Byington of Penteca in 8. And Priestley trying to hold off a hard-charging Dominique Lewis of Champaign Centennial. And Presley will now be in all of her events qualified, the 100, 4x1, 4x2, and now the 200. From Galesburg, the freshman, Sydney Ladner. In lane number 3, the junior from Springfield Southeast, Michaela Anderson. River Forest, Trinity, the junior, Anna Sloan. In the middle, lane number 5, from Chicago, Brooks, the senior, Ebony McClendon. In lane number 6, Sharon Miner, the sophomore of Champaign Central. In lane number 7, Maddie Olson, the sophomore of New Lenox Providence Catholic. And rounding out the field, representing Notre Dame from Peoria, C.C. Oroka, the sophomore. And the smoke is cleared and the runners are off. Ebony McClendon out in lane number 5. Anna Sloan and Sharon Miner of Champaign Central. And those 3 are on the home. Straight away the stagger's broken. That's Maynard. And McClendon, she has people chomping at her back and she's trying to extend to the finish line. We're going to go McClendon followed by Sloan and Maynard. 1, 2, 3 as they cross the line. And 24-74 from Chicago Brooks, followed by Sloan. 24. And we have a clean start here in the first heat of the 4x4 Class 2A girls. That is Dixon out to an early lead. You have Shannon Leahy, the sophomore, out for Dixon, followed by Glenbard South. That is Ivana Morgovic, the junior. Those are your 2. Into the south curve behind the scoreboard. Now Glenbard South, that is Markovic, will now squeeze into the second position. Dixon, the sophomore, is still holding on. That's going to be Leahy. Now moving well, lane at number 9, Grays Lake. Cahokia now moving up. Morgan Park with a big burst out there. That is Kelsey Ferguson. And Morgan Park will go first. Dixon followed by Glenbard South. And we have Caitlin of Maple Park. The runners will go to the brake line and then they will merge on to lane number 1. That is going to be Glenbard South. Second leg, that is Taylor Brom-Bennis. Moves into the first spot. Also Glenbard South. Glenbard South is second. Maple Park Canelan, that is Nicole Schramm. Third leg for the Mustang. Second leg, Olivia Price. And now we're moving well here on the curve. This is going to be Glenbard South. That's the second leg. That's Brom Bennis. A strong leg for her. Moving well.
And here are your 4x2 qualifiers for Saturday. Running in lane 1 is Clinton. Running in lane 2 will be Maple Park Canelan. In lane 3, Springfield Southeast. Running in lane 4 will be Chicago Noble Street Charter. In lane 5 is Chicago Brooks. Running in lane 6 will be Springfield High School. In lane 7, Kankakee. In lane 8 we have Chicago Morgan Park. And rounding out the list in lane 9, we have Galesburg High School.
Glenbard and Cahokia. That is Everhart for Glenbard, third leg. She's a junior. And Maple Park Canelan, we have Sydney Stragg, the senior, going 1-2. Here in the third position from Canelan, from Maple Park, that is Sydney Stragg. Stragg is moving well. On this one, we have Montini. This is Mary O'Brien. Mary O'Brien will hand off the baton, followed by Glenbard South and in Maple Park Canelan. 1, 2, 3, those teams.
First.
Cahokia
Glenbard right behind.
has been misrepresented. That is Cahokia with the red tights on with the blue jersey there in front. Glenbard South, red over blue shorts. Moving well. Maple Park Canelan in third. Dixon is in fourth. This is the anchor legs for Cahokia. Glenbard South. Rayshana Lewis, a sophomore from Cahokia. She's going to try to pull it in. Canelan now making a big surge. Glenbard South is pulling up to the front. It's going to be an exciting finish here for the first leg. Just ellipsing 4 minutes even. Glenbard Cahokia and Canelan. Dixon comes into the 4th spot. Next runner's coming in, that's Freeburg, followed by the Rams. Morgan Park, and this is Montini. We go to the board, 4:01.46 for Glenbard. Cahokia, surprising myself, 4:01.64. Maple Park Canelan, 4:02.26, and Dixon, 4:03.93. Those are your top 3. And we'll set the field for the girls' second heat. In lane number 2, we have Geneseo. Lane 3, we have Clinton. Lane 4, Aurora Rosary. Lane number 5, Springfield High School. Lane number 6, we have Metamora. Lane 7 from Notre Dame. Lane number 8, we have Providence Catholic from New Lenox. And in lane number 9, we have Chicago Noble Charter. And green for go. Springfield breaking the stagger over Metamora. Springfield, that is going to be Sarah Sapansky, the senior, out in the middle. In second, it looks like it's going to be Aurora Rosary. We'll check in with her second leg. Bacala of Rosary. Also, we have Geneseo. That's lane 8, New Lenox, Providence Catholic. Rosary now moving well. That's Bacala. And we'll go to the first exchange. Springfield running out of gas here to the first exchange. Is going to be Providence, New Lenox, followed by Peoria, Notre Dame. 3, that is going to be Clinton. It's going to be a fight. We go to the break. That is going to be Clinton and Springfield. Now Springfield's out front. Clinton's Woodside for Clinton. Notre Dame, Peoria's in the mix. Springfield back into the front. That is Riley Stever, the sophomore. Taylor Dally. We move on to the home stretch. A big move from Clinton. Clinton and Rosary. Woodside. Springfield holding off. We go to the third leg. Springfield will go Kyra Webster, followed by Clinton's third leg. Rianne Hoffman of Clinton. Springfield in first. Clinton is in second. Rosary in third. Third leg for Rosary. Shia Vero of Rosary in third. Springfield still out in front. That's Webster. Clinton's in second. Hoffman. Rianne Hoffman, the junior. And here comes Rosary. Rosary now in second. Shea Vera will hand off. Metamora now burst into third. Springfield still in the lead. Rosary's in second. Metamora's in third. Clinton's in fourth. Metamora's. Gillian Yerke in second. She had a busy day, a couple of in the field events, and now she's on the track for the 4x4. Gillian Yerke, the sophomore, she has tracked down Springfield, and we have 200 meters to go. We're at 3 minutes and 30 seconds, and Yerke, the sophomore, has been on a mission from the get. The Senators trying to hang off a charging Yerke, the sophomore. 349, 350 can Yerke, the sophomore. It's going to be Springfield. Yerke gave it all she has. It's going to be the Senators. Just under 4 minutes or at 4. Yerke second, Rosary's in third. She's excited. Clinton is fourth. Fifth place is going to be Peoria Notre Dame. That is CC Roca, the sophomore. We go to the board. 3:59.85. They just under the 4 minute barrier for the Senators. Metamora 4 flat 76. Rosary in third. A great third leg for Rosary to put them there. 4:02.48. Clinton 4:06.14. Peoria Notre Dame 4:10.35. New Lenox Providence St. Catholic has just disappeared from the board. We go to the third heat of the 4x4. And we'll set the field for Class 2A 4x4 third and final heat. Lane number 1, Chicago University, the Maroons. Out in lane number 2, we have New Hampshire. In lane number 3, we have Sycamore. The K's out in lane number 4. Springfield Southeast in 5. Rockford Boylan Catholic in 6. Washington in 7. Muhammad Seymour in 8, and the Meteors of Chicago, De La Salle round out the field in 9. And they're off, clean start. Going right to work, Muhammad Seymour. Christina Daly. Boylan running well out in lane number 6. We have Boylan, Springfield Southeast, and Kankakee, Muhammad Seymour out in lane number 8. Kankakee, that is Collins, the senior. Kenyon Collins. This is Twinkle Mehta of Muhammad Seymour, the sophomore. Stretching out the field, Springfield Southeast, that is Alexis Henry, the sophomore. And Boylan. And here we go to the first exchange. It looks like Springfield Southeast, Muhammad Seymour. Twinkle Mehta, a great leg for the sophomore. Springfield Southeast now going to work. That is Carlencia Watson, the junior. We go to the break. Southeast, Muhammad Seymour. In third place, we have the K's of Kankakee. That is Shaquita Hubert. And then Boylan. Erica Lowry, the junior, 1, 2, 3, 4. Springfield Southeast, Muhammad Seymour. Here comes the K's now. Hubert, the sophomore, trying to pick up some ground on Muhammad Seymour. And Muhammad Seymour says no. We go to Springfield Southeast. We're going to have a very quick and simultaneously handoff Southeast. Muhammad Seymour. The K's got the baton first, but they're still in third. Boylan in fourth. Third leg for Springfield Southeast, that's Shirley Jones, the senior. Now Kankakee moves into second on a mission that is Hubert, the senior. Kishona Hubert. I would like to believe the second and third leg are sisters from the K's. 200 meters, Springfield Southeast, the K's, Muhammad Seymour. Elise Hawkins for Muhammad Seymour, and it looks like it's a two-team race coming into the last leg. They're coming onto the home straightaway. Springfield Southeast, we have the K's of Kankakee, Shirley Jones of Springfield in the front, about to hand off the baton. And the final leg to the anchor, that is London Henry, the sophomore. We have a pair of sisters, Kankakee, giving it all she has, and moving into third, that is Sterling. For Sycamore, Springfield might have this one sewn up if Kankakee has anything to say about it. We move into the third position. That is Hampshire. Hampshire's anchor leg. Flight 3, long jump to the south pit. Flight 3, long jump to the south pit. Hampshire, Elizabeth Hagan fighting for the third spot, but it looks like it's going to be Springfield Southeast, the K's, and we have a battle for third on the home straightaway. Hampshire, Muhammad Seymour. We have now moving out into the front is Sycamore. Springfield Southeast will take it. 3:57 and some change, Kankakee, and it looks like it's going to be Hampshire at the finish for third. Is close. An outstanding final one. We go to the board. Springfield Southeast 3:57.52. Kankakee 3:59.56, and the battle, we'll find out who won it